Now, if you can't stop doing this, shanking the golf ball, well, I'm going to be here to save you, because I'm going to talk about here not a quick fix to fix this. I'm going to fix the root cause reason of why you are shanking the golf ball, because as you know, you cannot play golf if you're shanking it. So we're going to get into the 5 main root cause reasons of why you hit that hosel rocket, and we're going to get to a drill for each one of those reasons to fix it straight away. So let's get straight into it. Number 1, okay, the first root cause reason of why you're shanking the golf ball is as you're taking the club back in the takeaway, you are disconnecting your hands and arms. So you are just pushing your club away, which is disconnecting your lead arm, hand path going out. So what that does, that moves the whole arc of the golf swing more forward. So your swing is now essentially in front of the golf ball, unless you do something to counteract it. But if you're shanking the golf ball, you're most likely not doing anything to counteract it. So if the arms disconnect and we turn up to the top, as you now start turning down, your arms are pushed way too far away from the body, and now you're going to start to hit hosel rockets. I would go and demonstrate one for you here, but I do not want to damage the amazing tee to green in Scotland TrackMan facility. So I'm not going to demonstrate it, but trust me, absolutely, if your hands go straight out, arc bets pushed out, you are going to hit a hosel rocket unless you don't counteract it. So let's get to a drill to fix that. So what our drill is going to do here, our drill is going to get us more connected. This left arm is going to be a little bit more connected to the side. The hand path is going to be moving a little bit more in, because we need the hands to move in the takeaway and the club to move outside them, because that keeps the club on the arc. So that's going to help us massively if we keep ourselves more connected to hit some better strikes straight away. So, okay, this drill is a classic. It is old as time itself. So a lot of you will recognize this, but it's brilliant for this root cause. So get a towel, which my towel's got a little bit of grass on it. Be all right though. So let's put it underneath our arms. So, okay, if we've got a towel underneath our arms here, and I get my arms moving away from me, disconnecting, instant feedback, the towel drops. So if we get this towel tucked underneath our arms, now all we want to do is keep the towel underneath our arms, which keeps us connected, and that keeps the swing arc moving nicely. And then that keeps the sweet spot moving through the golf ball appropriately, not the hosel meeting the ball first. So the second root cause reason of why you're shanking it, that is, as you're completing your backswing, your hips, especially your right hip, is drifting forward. So if I had a line here right on my pelvis, as I'm turning back, as I'm getting up to the top of my swing, my hip is moving forward of that line. So again, in relationship to the swing arc, if my pelvis moves closer to the golf ball, my whole swing is moving more on the outside of the ball. So not necessarily out to win is over the top, but more the swing arc itself just moving more forward. So if my pelvis moves more forward at the top of the swing, it's going to want to continue to move that way. If I don't back my upper body up, pulling my hands closer to me, I would just shank it. So that's where we've got to be able to keep, as we're turning back, that right side staying back with some good hip rotation preferably, because then that's going to keep us moving on the arc better and the arc not diverging out in front, which means we're going to hit the sweet spot more often, and we're not going to hit that good old hosel rocket. So our drill is a classic of the channel for so many reasons. This is probably one of the best drills in golf in general. So that is just grabbing something like a chair or a stool, something like that behind you, and just pulling it half a grip's distance behind you. And what I want you to do is get up to the top of the backswing. You don't even really need to hit a ball for you guys out here, you shankers of the ball. You could just get up to the top and feel like your right hip is going back to where you're hitting the chair or stool or bag behind you. Just get that repetition in. So that's going to keep the swing moving on the arc, going through the golf ball, not outside the golf ball, which is then going to help you hit the hosel. And for a lot of you there, you can then keep that left side going back to touch it in the downswing there. Now prevent you from early extending, which is another root cause reason of why you shank the golf ball. Where this is early extension. This is just it happening in the backswing. So okay, get my hip going back, just going to hit a little one, and then left hip back. Even if we don't necessarily touch it, we know that our intent is pushing it back and we're going to hit much better strikes. Now the third reason of why you can't stop shanking the golf ball, and that is your right side again, but now start the downswing. So we can see a lot of players get up to the top of the swing with their right hip going back nicely, like we just talked about, But then they start the downswing by pushing off their right side because they believe that's what creates their rotation. Of course, right-handed golfer, it does make sense, doesn't it? If you're going to turn and rotate your hips to do it with the right side, it's your more powerful side as a right-handed player. But that gets you in a massive spot of bother for the golf swing. So if we push the right hip forward, what's that doing as well? That's pushing the right side of the body close to the ball. And what does that do to the swing arc? It pushes it more out in front of the ball, and that's going to make you hit the hosel. So no good. It'll also get your right arm stuck. It will get loads of things to happen really poorly. So it's not the way we want to turn our hips. So the correct way to start the downswing in regards to your hips, which is going to stop you shanking it, it's again just like we talked about with the stool. And that is getting the left hip going back, but making sure this right hip doesn't fire forward immediately. The right hip will go slightly forward as we go through the golf ball, just by natural rotation. But we want to keep the right hip back and then move back with the left hip, like we see players like Tommy Fleetwood talk about, Justin Rose talk about. It's a very, very hot topic out on tour, but that's going to keep the swing arc moving through the golf ball and you're going to hit it much more solidly. So as we start that downswing, keep the right side back and then be moving your left side back to give you the proper, correct rotation. Now the drill for this is super simple. Just grab a wedge, put a wedge underneath your right heel. Now what you want to do as well, you want to get this wedge to where the shaft is just behind your left calf. So then as you're moving down the downswing, we want to keep this wedge underneath our heel all the way until after impact. Because if we let it go beforehand, we know we've driven the right side forward, we're in Shank City. So what we want to do, we also want to hit and try our best to do this, is hit the shaft that's behind our left calf with our calf as soon as we can, which would generally for the, let's say, more hip rotated players would be right around impact. But just having that intent keeps the right side back, but gets the left side clearing. So it's, in my opinion, the best hip rotation drill out there. It's very hard to beat this, but again, for you shankers of the ball, it will stop you shanking it. So, okay, here we go. Brilliant. Definitely not a shank. Now the fourth reason of why you are shanking the golf ball is one of the reasons why a lot of people think they're shanking it. And that is your swing path in the downswing is overly out to win. So again, I'm going to demonstrate why I'm not going to try and shank it here because of not wanting to damage the surroundings. But again, if I get my swing path really over the top, we have a huge risks of shanking the golf ball. For me, I'd always close my face down when I do that. But if we look there, -12, so 12 to left, that's huge over the top. So if I was going to play that and function with that, the club face would have to be hugely open to slice it. But if you do go really over the top there, you could very easily meet the hosel first, super easily. So that's where, of course, we do not want to do that. What we want to do, we want to swing on a better club path, because if we swing on path in a downswing on plane, that's going to help you hit, again, more central strikes. So we're going to swing on plane, and we're going to do that for a specific feel, because a lot of golfers swing over the top because of what they're doing with their upper body as they start the downswing. So we want to swing on plane because that's going to help us massively to not shank the golf ball. So in our feel to fix this, so this is great for the golf course for you to straight away implement without really much practice, but I do recommend get the practice in first. And that is, as you are starting your downswing, feel like the middle of your chest, so let's say the zipper or my gilet or my microphone. Imagine that is pointing away from the target. So let's say one of your buddies is standing behind you, pointing at them for the first half of that downswing. What that's going to do, that's going to get the hands and arms to drop and club to drop a little bit more. The more we delay our chest rotation, the more down the hand path is going to go, which of course will be more opposite than swinging over the top. And then through the golf ball, everything's going to whip through better. For you guys who swing over the top, a lot of you over-rotate the chest first, which gets the hand path flying out. So that's where you don't need to worry about trying to get that last little bit of rotation through it. You'll most likely do it because you over the top guys are very good at rotating. You just do it way too early with the chest. So having chest, point behind, away from the target, first half of the downswing. Let's have a look at the club path as I do that. So, okay, when it comes up on the screen, there we go, 2.9, nice little draw from there. So we went from 12 to the left to now, so of club path, and now 3 pretty much towards the right. So I tell you that feel works very, very well, and it will stop you shanking the golf ball and get you hitting it straighter as well. So the fifth and final reason to why you cannot stop shanking the golf ball is all because as you're coming into impact, you are straightening your right arm early. So if we straighten that right arm as we're approaching the golf ball, we are going to move the club more outside the golf ball with the arc again. So we're going to be moving on the arc nicely, and then if we straighten that right arm, now it's out, and then you're hitting the hosel. It's extending the club, getting it wider going into the golf ball. That's not the point of the swing where we want to be really wide. So that's where a lot of golfers try to do this, trying to punch the golf ball. Again, I wouldn't necessarily say a lot of golfers need to feel that, but a lot of golfers do this because they obviously stall out their rotation, their right arm needs to straighten up going through the golf ball. So that's why I always see, why are you not rotating? Why are you slowing down and stalling out your rotation to fire that right arm? And why are you early extending? So I've got courses about both of these in the description. The Ultimate Guide to Rotation in the Downswing and the Masterclass to fix your early extension. So there'll be information on both of those. In that coaching level of knowledge, root cause reasons to why you slow down your rotation, you early extend, and fixes for each one of those with a comprehensive practice guide for every single one of them. Really in depth, so most in-depth guides on the internet in regards to those issues. So for us here, we want to keep that right arm bent coming into the shot. So we see all the best players in the world will keep their right arm bent coming into there. Some a lot, some a small amount. Some of them might be gradually straightening it as it comes through the golf ball, but at the point of impact, it is bent. It is not straight. If you're going to make a straight right arm work at impact, you need to stand the body up to pull everything more in to stop that club from going out. So you would have to early extend a little bit to be able to make that function. We don't want that. That's going to really close the club face down. It's going to make you horribly inconsistent. 90s and 2000s golf instruction called, and they're saying we're out of date. You can't be doing that anymore. It is just making golf so much harder for you. It's making you so you have to spend a lot of time practicing. We don't have that much time to practice with our busy lives. So let's get into a drill to keep this right arm bent, because that's going to keep the club moving through the golf ball, through the arc better, and you're going to be striking some better strikes as a result. So our drill, really simple one. This will be great to do into a net. Could do it into a simulator like here, tee to green there in Scotland, or you could do it on the driving range, absolutely. But you're just going to know when you do this drill, you're not really going to hit the ball too far because you're hitting the ball with one arm to get the feeling. So if we're hitting the ball with one arm, to successfully hit this, we need to keep the right arm bent going through the golf ball. And we need to rotate the body more to be able to do so, because if I straighten that right arm early, we've just hitting it with one arm, I'm going to chunk it, and it's going to go so bad that the launch monitor doesn't even pick it up. That tells you you're a bad shot if it don't pick it up. So that's where we need to keep it bent and just do a little swing back, little swing through. You're going to feel much more body rotation, and you are going to start to hit some better feeling strikes. Again, when you're learning to do this, you can hit a little bit clunky, but when you get used to it, you start to hit some nice little clip shots. Again, they only go, what's that gone, like 50 yards? They're not going to go that far, but it just gives you the feeling of not only how the body needs to move to go through the golf ball, you're going to feel everything else sync up. You're going to feel the right side stays more back. You're going to feel the swing goes more on path. You're going to feel everything we talked about kind of match up, but you're going to have much better control over that club face. So let's do one more, get that feeling. That's nice. And then all we want to do there, we've got 68 yards, that's not too bad. And then have that same feeling into a shot, but just do it nice and half swing. Start off with. The ball hasn't stopped rolling, so it didn't pick up that shot. You could tell by where the screen was pointing. It was pointing out there. So again, that was a very nice strike. That felt amazing. I felt that right arm being nice and bent there. Typical. And even when I just said when the shot's so bad doesn't pick it up, that wasn't that. So feel that nice half swing, right arm staying bent from the drill. That felt nice. And just ingrain that feeling in there. But this bit, like we said at the beginning, is very tied into what you're doing before. So I wouldn't be able to know that unless I see your golf swing, which is also an option I've got. Here's one-to-one lessons with myself. If you're really down in the dumps with your golf swing or shanking the golf ball and you can't stop it and you feel like this video might not even help you for it, I can absolutely take a look at your swing and we can get some online lessons fired up on Skiddist. Absolutely, link in the description. So, these are the 5 main reasons of why I see golfers shanking the golf ball. You've got to fix your root cause if you want to fix your shanker. Stereotypical shank avoidance drill might help to go and play around better, but it won't actually fix you. It's a quick fix, those are. This is long-term fix, is what we're talking about today. If we want to get better at golf and we don't want to pack golf in because we can't stop hitting the hosel, hosel's only a tiny bit of the club, so we can absolutely change this and get ourselves striking the ball a hell of a lot better and say goodbye to shanking. So, Again, if you enjoyed the video, click that like button if you want more golf instruction, just like this. Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.